Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you guys how to create a custom made Chicano style calligraphy design. So I'm just using like a S and starting from a paper sketch and moving on to tattooing. We'll be covering like almost all the steps from initial sketch to shading techniques. Okay guys, so let's get it started. So I always start by sketching out the design on paper. It helps me visualize the final look and make like any necessary adjustments on the design or something. You can see here that I'm working on the letter S, and this style is called Chicano style, and this style is known for bold lines, uh, shadings, yeah, which we will replicate in the tattoo process. Once the sketch is done, I like to go over it a few times to refine the lines and make sure everything is balanced. Now we have a good sketch, we can take a good stencil. For this design, I am using three ink cups. One for solid black, one for medium shading, and one for the extra light shading. So I like keep my shading simple. There won't be any confusion, and these three tones helps me create like a smoother dynamic look. So today I'm gonna do. So as you can see, we got a good stencil with the stencil ready and ink prepared. We can start the tattooing process now. So as you can see here, we got like a very good stencil from what we have done. You know how we created the design and all. Okay, so first, I'm going to use 5 RL needle to create some fine lines, and I always say just start from the bottom, then you don't have to rub off your stencil. There will be the stencil entire the tattooing process. So when you do it, as you can see, I'm carefully following the stencil and taking my time to ensure the lines are clean. This is very crucial for this kind of design. Now I'll be using the NRL needle to add the solid thicker lines. This will give the design its boldness, sharpness. So I'm fast forwarding through this process, but you can see how the design starts to come together with the thicker lines. Remember to keep your hands steady and maintain the consistent pressure. When you're working on the solid lines, focus on making each line clean and sharp. Take your time, don't rush this part. Use smooth and steady stroke to make the lines even and without breaks. If the lines look thin or uneven, gently go over it one more time. This helps the design looks neat and professional. Also keep an eye on the angle of your needle to make sure the line stays the same thickness. Okay? And if you want to make your works needs to better, your lines needs to better, you have to practice it every day. And I always say this, after you finish the lines, step back and look at the whole design. Check if all the lines are even or thick enough. If you see any spots that needs to more work, go over them carefully. This helps make sure everything looks smooth and matches the design. Remember this, it's okay to adjust and fix things to get the best results. Okay? So lines are all done. It's looking very neat and I'm happy with this. Next I will use the 5RL needle for stipple shading. Because you can see there is some smaller areas we need to touch with stipple shading. So it's important to start from the edge and just push forward it gently, so it will give a smooth effect. Yep, that's done. So this looks better. So I'm filling on some more like smaller areas with the stipple shading now. These techniques add a depth and dimensions to the design. Don't rush through this step. Take your time, get it right. Now I'm moving on to the shading. So for this shading I'm using a 13 soft mark, and you can see I'm just giving a circular motion to create a smoother effect. And if you feel like you wanna make it a bit more darker, you can do on top of it, go over one more time. Using a circular motion ensure that the shading is even and blends well. Because like a rest of the design has to blend with what we are doing right now, right? So if you want to make it darker, you can go over one more time. As you can see, like the first step shading is almost done. That looks good now. Now I will add an extra light shade to the background, because we took three shades, right? Solid, medium, and extra light. So we're gonna use extra light for the background to give the design a finished look, and almost like an imprint on the skin. So that's what we need to do, that's what like our goal is. So that's why I'm doing a background with really soft shade. The steps really help the design stand out and adds a nice touch to the overall look. So same process for soft shading. It's important to use a light touch and move the needle in a small circles. It helps the ink spread evenly and create a smoother blend look. So when doing the soft shade, start with the light shade and slowly build up to the darker tone if you need it. It's better to go slowly and add more as you go. Okay, because like first if you feel full dark at the beginning, you can't go back. And if it like a realistic design, also think about where the light would naturally hit the design. Areas that closer to the light source should have lighter shading, while areas further away should be darker. This makes the tattoo look more realistic and three-dimensional, like a 3D. Okay, as I'm looking at the design, I see some lines that needs to be a bit thicker, because then it will stand out bit more. So I'm using same 5RL needle to go over the these lines to make them bit more thicker. And always clean it with Vaseline. Looks good, looks neat. And there you have it, a Chicano style calligraphy S. It's a custom made design from start to finish. I hope you found this tutorial really helpful. If you did, make sure like, share and subscribe for more tattoo tutorials. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video. Thank you.